Hello, welcome to Church and State. I have a quick video to show you. Well, it's about 15 minutes long. It's regarding the Donald Trump case with E. Jean Carroll. This clip is from Newsmax, reporting by Greg Kelly.
And God-fearing men, and they were all in the right place at the right time, came together and gave birth to a country and our Constitution, our beautiful Constitution. Wow, the Bill of Rights. Have you looked at it lately? You know, what do we have in there? We have the right, if we are accused, to a speedy and public trial. That's up to the defendant. If the defendant wants one, the defendant gets one, a speedy and public trial. Except, of course, if you're Donald Trump. That didn't happen in this E. Jean Carroll matter, huh? It was impossible. 1995, 1996 is when the alleged incident happened. What else are you entitled to in that Constitution of ours? An impartial jury. Yes, impartial. Is it possible for President Trump to have an impartial jury in New York County, in Manhattan, overwhelmingly Democrat, in an election year? It's not. That's in the Constitution, though. You know what's not in the Constitution? The Department of Justice. Department of Justice is actually not mentioned anywhere in the Constitution. That's kind of interesting, don't you think? And the FBI and federal law enforcement. Now, we need some of that, and there's a way to make that happen constitutionally. But it's interesting that the federal apparatus of law enforcement and our judicial system, they say that Ashley Babbitt's death does not matter, did not matter. The whole system said that was okay, that an unarmed woman was killed, and they all kind of went about their business. Yet E. Jean Carroll and her crazy 30-year-old story, right? That must be heard. The federal court system just facilitated for her an $83 million settlement. I would like to put Ashley Babbitt and E. Jean Carroll together, right? I mean, is this a country that the wheels have come off? Starting with Ashley Babbitt. What did she do on January 6th? She walked peacefully down the street. It's documented. We have it. It's a good chance that your friends, if they lean left, haven't seen this. But she was peaceful that day. Here she is inside the Capitol. Walking, guess what? Like a tourist. The police shot her. Before they shot her, they failed her. 3 police officers just standing there. They were ordered to be there to guard the House chamber. And for some reason, all at the same moment, they decided to take a coffee break. We're out of here. And they just walked away.
I see people out there get hurt. I don't want to I just the whole country hates I want you to go home. Go. Let's go. Get this
You ever seen this? The 3 officers standing next to Ashley Babbitt. Is Ashley Babbitt a threat? Why aren't they apprehending her? Why aren't they doing anything to her? We now know that she was actually calling for peace. She didn't want people breaking windows or anything like that. These cops failed her. We can all see that. Her husband is filing a lawsuit, has filed a lawsuit. I hope he's successful, because there are so many unanswered questions that our culture is blowing off. Why did the cops duck to protect themselves and not protect Ashley? Watch this. See that? That's the officer who sees Michael Bird's gun on the other side of the door. He starts to duck, but is he trying to get hold of that situation or anything? Or get Ashley or the others out of the way? No. And then she's shot. What happened? They were standing against the wall. Ashley Babbitt's right there. And she winds up getting shot. There are 3 police officers who could have stopped the whole thing, who could have communicated on the other side. And then to make matters worse, they bring her out of there as if she were a wheelbarrow, holding her by the legs, going down the steps. You know, even I know you're supposed to elevate the wound. Her neck is bleeding. Look at how they're holding her, by her feet with the head down. So the man who shot that woman, Lieutenant Michael Byrd, now a captain, he has been promoted, everybody. Did you know that? Promoted and given a gold medal. And it would look like he was being deceptive on January 6th, because a minute after shooting her, somewhere between 45 and 60 seconds later, he made this call on the radio, seeming to indicate that he hadn't opened fire yet.
45B, we got shots fired in the lobby. We got 5 shots fired in the lobby of the House chamber. Shots are being fired at us, and we're prepared to fire back at them. We have guns drawn. Don't make somebody leave that in. Don't leave that in.
We got shots fired, seeming to indicate that he was being fired at. The only shot that had been fired that day was his gun from him into Ashley Babbitt. What we're doing here is reviewing evidence. There is very real evidence here that needs to be addressed. Ashley Babbitt died. And why doesn't our establishment care? Why doesn't the media care? She's got some major strikes against her, right? She's MAGA, pro-Trump. She's white and a woman. On the left, they have a word for that, a Karen, right? So the entire establishment turns its back on her. Some people online say, oh, she got what she deserved. You should see the horrible comments. Meanwhile, E. Jean Carroll, and I'm sorry, let's just have some common sense here. This is I'll be nice here, a very eccentric woman who lacks credibility. Her lawyers were besides themselves yesterday. I mean, they have to keep an eye on her. This is no way to talk, even if you did win.
You've talked about using some of Trump's money that you're about to get to help shore up women's rights. Do you know what that might be, what that might look like?
Yes, Rachel. Yes.
Tell me.
I had such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want? Penthouse? It's yours, Rachel. Penthouse and France? You want France? You want to go fishing in France? No? Oh, all right, okay.
That's a joke.
I'm laughing pretty hard. Is it really a joke? So, look, it's easy to find goofy stuff that she said, and there will be more of that, and some of it is very relevant, but I want to focus on something else. So she's out there having the time of her life on this morning show, on that show, all over the place, just drinking it all in, loving it, loving every moment of it. The media should do its part, don't you think? I mean, there was a lot of evidence that was not admissible. The judge said, no, I don't want to hear anything about her statements that might suggest that she has some very unconventional views about sex, that she, I don't know, is totally divorced from reality. We can't talk about that. George Stephanopoulos wouldn't go there. No, it was just like he was doing PR work for her.
It's been reported the exchange smiles with the jurors on the way out. Is that true?
Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? Remember, these mainstream media types, right, at the top, $288,000 a week. A week. Thanks. Let's go over to CBS.
I would like to know the toll that this has taken on you, Eugene, how you prepared for this. Were you ever afraid for your life? Were you ever worried about? Because when was the last time you saw Donald Trump? Because he didn't come to the last trial. He showed up for this one. So you guys are in the same courtroom together.
$13 million, $250,000 per week. And the most disastrous interview that, well, is actually being spun as somehow a triumphant one, Rachel Maddow. Take a look.
You guys have lived this case in one way or another since 2019, when Trump was still in the White House, and you published your book. How different is it now to be part of this case now that you are out the other side? You have won this massive $83 million judgment.
How does it feel? How does it feel, Rachel Maddow, to make more than $500,000 a week? You don't get that kind of money for telling the truth, all right? Now, what else did they say? Let's see. The questions were, what did it feel like? Oh, you were looking at Trump. You were in the same room with him. How are you going to spend the money? That kind of stuff. Now, if it were up to me, and I'm no expert in the case, I can only find out so much, but, well, I would have started with her Twitter account. And I would have said, E. Jean Carroll, in approximately 2004, 2005, it says that you were a massive fan of The Apprentice. That doesn't seem to, well, it undermines this whole idea that Donald Trump sexually assaulted her. What do you think, huh? How about this? You said the assault happened in Bergdorf Goodman, in a department store here in New York City, huh? If it was so traumatizing, and if it really happened, wouldn't you want to avoid that place?
You say you were in Bergdorf Goodman,
I was coming out of Bergdorf's.
which was a store I heard you liked a lot.
It's a posh and cozy
Your
and
whole face lights up when you talk about Bergdorf
I
Goodman,
just,
by the way.
I was just there today.
Okay.
I just loved it.
So, look, we've all had a lot of conversations post Me Too, right? And the trauma that's involved. I know something about trauma, and you don't go hanging around the place, especially when it's optional. Lots of places to shop. I'm sorry, these are questions that if you get paid $500,000 a week, you should have the temerity to ask. Oh, also, I actually remember a husband of hers. His name was John Johnson. He's still alive. He's in his 80s. A great guy, a great broadcast journalist. Watch.
Good evening. I'm Dana Tyler.
And I'm John Johnson. We begin with a deadly attack on the former New York City police officer. He was gunned down tonight in the Bronx, and the killers are still on the loose.
So, John Johnson, if you grew up here in New York City, you know who this guy is. And he was married to E. Jean Carroll. I looked at one of her books, and what she said about her ex-husband, well, it's in your book, E. Jean. And what did you say? JJ, who is 6'3" and was in a rage because I'd called him an ape, was kneeling on the bed. You called a black man an ape. I think that, given your, well, newsworthiness, I want to know a little bit more about that. Back to your tale about what happened in the department store. She said something to Anderson Cooper that suggests she had money on the mind a long time ago.
Then we went up. He was going to get some lingerie. And I am just like, oh, I can dine out forever on this story. We're going to go get lingerie.
Okay, dine out forever. Dine out forever. That means you're going to tell the story and you're going to have people enthralled. They may even pay you. Dine out forever on this story. It's a very strange thing to say. Can we agree? Do we still have a culture where this stuff is abnormal or at least deserves scrutiny in a court of law? And if not on a court of law, in a court of law, on a TV talk show? Are we so precious that you can't? Her book, by the way, the one where she tries to implicate Trump, well, she talks about 5 other men who hassled her, who assaulted her sexually. Nothing about them. Where are the lawsuits about them? Because this is what it was really all about. And she said it out loud last night.
The fight now is really to take back our future. This is a man who stacked the Supreme Court, took away women's rights over their own bodies. We would like to be a part of turning our eyes to the future and taking back our rights.
Doesn't seem to have anything to do with her alleged matter with Donald Trump, does it? Sounds like she has an agenda. And so do the attorneys next to her. They both look a little bit guilty somehow sitting next to her. The one on the right with the brown hair, did you know this? The judge officiated her wedding. You know, I hear, oh, well, that actually came up in pretrial discussions. All right, but is that right? Is that fair? How about this? Roberta Kaplan, one on the other side, she actually worked at the same law firm at the same time with the judge. Now, I keep hearing, well, yes, this was addressed, or this will be addressed, and no. What they have done to Donald Trump, legally at least, somewhat, they've overwhelmed him. Now, I think he has, 5 cases, 6 against him. That, from a legal perspective, is kind of overwhelming. And he's running for president.
All right. Well, this is my second video that I posted, and this is about the E. Jean Carroll Donald Trump thing. She was awarded $83 million for something that supposedly happened back in the 90s, and that he did something to her in a dressing room at Bergdorf Goodman store. So, and this, you won't ever see this reporting on mainstream media, of course. Greg Kelly from Newsmax is one of my favorite newscasters. I like his style. I think he's tells the truth on pretty much everything what I've seen. But I don't know how many people are going to watch this, but I'm going to post it on YouTube and see what happens. I hope you enjoyed it. And my name is Rob, by the way. And this is my cat Bones. I'm going to be doing some more videos for news, politics, mainly Christianity. I am a Christian. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, that He is my personal Savior. And I'm going to share things that I know about Him. And I guess what they always say at the end of these videos is like, share, and subscribe.